Magic makers, and welcome back to the Metaphysical Apothecary. We are your hosts, Shannon and Megan.
Hi, everyone.
Also known as the Scorpio Sisters, here to explore the mysterious, the magical, and the arcane.
One of the places that we definitely see a balance between the duality of energy in traditional spirituality is in the yin and the yang. And Shannon knows more about this than I do, so I'm going to let her take this piece.
In the Eastern demographic, in the Asian culture, yin and yang is the duality that's prevalent. We have the yin and yang symbolism that is very popular and is understood around the world. Teardrop of black curled around a teardrop of white with their opposite colors in the middle of the teardrop, forming a circle. Yin is associated with the feminine aspect, darkness, night, receptive energies, and yang is associated with the masculine aspect, light, sun, projective energies, and we're associated with human genitalia. So one of the ways to remember which part of the yin and yang exemplified the receptive or projective energies, the darkness and the light, the feminine and the masculine aspects, was by using this mnemonic device. Yin was in and yang hangs out. So one of the very old ways teaching and learning and following a master and becoming a master was if you happen to exude yin energy, you appeared to be more feminine aspected than masculine aspected, you would seek a yang master who would teach you how to balance your yin and yang energy so you could become a master of yin and yang as well. And then once you graduated to mastering it, you would be the yin master, and you would then pass on your knowledge of balancing everything out as a yin to a yang student.
Mm-hmm.
I'm simplifying this as best as I can because this is very complicated and very complex in nature as well as in theory.
Right.
So yin and yang is an expression of the dualities that in the Western world was seen as god and goddess energy. Yin has all the same associations as goddess, yang has all the same associations as god, but you don't need to be cis female to be yin. You don't have to be cis man to be yang. You don't have to have that physical appearance to exude the energy that is from that side of the duality.
Right. And we can kind of see through the very symbol of the yin and yang how those energies are present within one another. So they're curled around each other, and you've got the burgeoning seed or bit of the opposite in each one.
Mm-hmm.
The concepts are not necessarily opposite because that implies that they're separate. They're complementary.
Mm-hmm.
They're not meant to be permanently or completely separated, but they can be combined in different ratios to achieve specific energetic goals.
Yes. If you are yang, understand that you have yin inside of you somewhere, and you should be trying to balance it out so you're expressing yourself the most authentically you can.
Yep.
And that balance might be 5% yin, it might be 95% yin.
Right. Or it could be the other way around, or it could be 81% of one and the 19% of the other. One of the most beautiful things about these concepts, the god and goddess concept, the yin and yang concept, and there are others from all over the world being practiced today, is that we have taken the idea and examined it. So today we have had the chance to engage with these concepts that have existed in different ways all over the world and sort of shed the association with biology and anatomy. Not that it's never associated with those things, but when you strip away that particular lens, you're left with these concepts that take on even more meaning and significance.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, we now have the concepts of projective versus receptive energy. So if you're not comfortable using gendered terms like god and goddess, you can say projective versus receptive, and you can place that concept into your practice. when we talk about projective versus receptive, a lot of the associations are the same as the gender terms. So you've got projective, which is more associated with the god energy, and the receptive energy that's more associated with goddess. But when you remove the gender terminology from them, you can start to see more clearly, or at least I started to see more clearly, the characteristics of both within yourself and within your practice, within myself and within my practice.
My symbolism for projective and receptive is the two hands, the two human hands.
And again, traditionally, the left hand is receptive and the right is projective, but it's not like that for everybody.
No, my right hand is receptive and my left hand is projective.
Whereas for me, it's more traditional. My left hand is receptive and my right hand is projective. But for my wife, hers is the opposite. It's the same as Shannon's associations.
Mm-hmm.
So when we talk about projective energy, we're directing energy outward. We're adding energies to the cosmos and imposing our will on other energies. We're radiating heat. It's outward expression. So you're expressing outward your vitality, your intellectual prowess. It's the image that we project to the world and the cosmos at large. With receptive energy, you're directing your energy and your focus inward, accepting energies from outside of you to within you, accepting energy from the cosmos, from the earth or the elements. Some of the practices that include this are meditation, personal development and shadow work, psychic development, healing, and rejuvenation and recovery. All of those have to do with receptive energy. And when you look at these concepts this way, it's easy to see how every person embodies both energies. It might not be perfectly balanced all the time. One might be dominant most of the time, but everyone has a mix of the two.
Mm-hmm.
Another way to look at this from a non-gendered perspective is electric versus magnetic energy. Electric is more associated with God energy. Magnetic is associated with goddess. So electric energy flows from a higher density to a lower. It's seeking outward, projecting, and provides powers to systems, whereas magnetic is always drawing inner, pulling things together into a pattern to create harmony. We have to have both. In the cosmos, we have magnetic energy and we have electric energy, and we need them both for our solar system, right down to our atoms, not to fly apart. Once you combine the dual energies, the ratios create a spectrum of different new energies that you can call upon. So anyone who is interested in having these energies represented on your altar, who is either atheist or is a member of the queer community who's very uncomfortable with God and goddess representation, I understand that. I don't have that on my own altar. There's a number of different ways that you can represent these things on your altar or just in your home, having different little mini altars. For projective or electric energy, you can have an obelisk, an upright pyramid, conductive materials of some kind like copper. Take copper wire and fold it into a lightning bolt. You can have electric lighting that represents the electric or projective energy in your practice. Salt crystal lamps. I have one sitting right next to me right now. I love them.
A good craft would be making wax hands. You dipping your hands into wax. We did that in undergrad. You dip your hands into wax. Whichever hand happens to be your projective hand, you can put on the projective side of your altar.
And you can even make different gestures with your hands. So the projective hand could be pointing with one finger, with two fingers, and the receptive hand could be cupped. They also have hand statues for different things too. So you can maybe find a pair that suits your purposes for that as well.
Mm-hmm. I have two hand candle holders. When I use them, the projective hand actually happens to look like Thing from the Addams Family, and the candle holder part, the wrist, is facing upwards with the fingers being used as little feet. The receptive hand is usually with the wrist down and the hand up, so the fingers are reaching to the sky as if receiving something.
That's really cool. Where did you find those? Just in a regular shop?
Yeah, it was a Halloween decoration that I found in Big Lots, I think it was.
That's wonderful. Thrift stores or just regular stores are gold mines for this kind of stuff.
Yeah, you just have to be open to the possibility of it.
Right. Other ways that you can represent receptive or magnetic energy on your altar include bowls, inverted pyramids, cupped hands, as we were talking about, actual magnets. I remember those miniature globes that had magnets inside of them. And then on the globe stand, there was a magnet inside of that too. And it would float inside the frame from the power of the magnets. Something like that could be really cool.
A lotus stone.
Anything that's representative of a flower.
A compass. The original compasses were created with magnetic science.
If you do work with elemental energies, you can work with the receptive and projective or electric and magnetic energies of both of those. You can combine them in really beautiful ways. There's something I've been wanting to do. I haven't done it yet. I have this concept in my mind of creating a vessel that has like a candle holder in the center, and the vessel is clear, like a jar within a jar. Place a tea light inside the center jar and fill the rest up with water, or even water and oil, and just watch the light float through the liquid. Arrows are also good for projective energy representation.
Usually projectile weapons in general are very good for projective energies, right? Arrows, spears, darts. And if you're going to represent the receptive energy, or shields would be good because they receive the projective energy and block it from harming you.
Right. That's a good analogy for how the balancing of those energies works in your favor. So that's all we have on our topic for today. Thank you so much for listening in, and we hope you'll join us again soon. In the meantime, you can follow us for more witchy wisdom, both here and on our blog. And you can also check out our original art on Society 6 for sacred decor and more. Thanks again for joining us. Go make some magic and live your best life.
Bye!